Thinking about downsizing in BC and you have a dog? Well, it might just be a lot harder than you think. I'm Irene, your local realtor here in my community of Mission, BC, where I've been helping people just like you buy and sell for the last 20 years. And I have a dog, and I have been thinking about downsizing. So I did a deep dive into our housing options, and what I found changes everything. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what pet owners in BC are up against and why it's so much harder than it should be. Let's get into it. Now, I've never had to think about this before. Levi's now 8 years old. He's part Spaniel, part Mini Aussie, and he's obsessed with playing fetch. He loves people almost as much as he loves food. He is the baby. The kids grew up and yeah, he took their place. Well, time goes by, and recently I started thinking seriously about downsizing, what my options might be. You know, I've sold plenty of townhomes and condos in the last 20 years, and I've helped a lot of people with dogs move. But up until now, I didn't have to think about what it actually meant for me. So I went looking, hoping I'd find some answers. Now let's take a look at what our options actually look like. Well, you could try to downsize into a smaller detached home, something like a rancher, for instance. Now, you've got full freedom as far as pets are concerned. The only thing you're looking at are municipal bylaws. No breed restrictions, no side restrictions. Everything's pretty good that way. But they are becoming more rare, and you've still got yard work and maintenance, and they tend to be expensive. So for a lot of people, it's not that realistic. Next, you could look at a townhome. Now, they tend to be more flexible where pets are concerned. A lot of them don't have size or breed restrictions. They are strata properties, so they will have rules. But for the most part, you're going to have more leeway. The price can still be quite high. Condos are the most affordable option. Now, they are also strata properties, so they will have pet rules, and they do tend to be the most restrictive, if they allow pets at all. Next, you could look at mobile homes. Lower entry price, but you don't own the land. And the parks also have pet rules, which can vary considerably. Now that we've gone through your options, here's where the real problem starts. Most people who downsize still want to own a property, a condo or a townhouse perhaps. Now in BC, like I said, those are strata properties. And strata properties always have bylaws, rules that control what you can and can't do. Now, by default, standard bylaws for pets allow one dog or one cat, but a strata can change that. They can ban pets altogether or allow pets with restrictions. Now, weight, height, breed, species, and quantity are all common restrictions. And when it comes to condos, if they allow pets at all, there's going to be a size limit, commonly 25 pounds, or height, commonly 18 inches and under. Now, don't get me wrong, if you've got a smaller dog, you know, a little tiny thing, little tiny white dog, you've got more options. They're limited, but they are there. But once you get over 25 pounds, that's where you run into trouble. Now, I had a dog before Levi. His name was Sam. And he was 16 pounds, miniature American Eskimo. He barked a lot, which is typical for the breed. And he also had a tendency to nip at people. Sam would have had absolutely no trouble getting into buildings that allowed pets because of his size. But Levi, at 40 pounds, calm, well-behaved, can't get him through the door. And Levi isn't an unusually large dog. For instance, a French bulldog can hit 28 pounds, a beagle 30, a spaniel 35. And what if your dog gains weight? These aren't large dogs that I'm talking about. They're dogs that people actually have. Very common here in BC. But in most condos, every single one of those is going to be too big. And if you're thinking you can work around that, well, you can't. Now, here's a real case from the Fraser Valley. Strata Plan LMS 2629 versus Blondine. BC Supreme Court, Langley, BC, March 27th, 2012. The dog was an Australian Shepherd, same type as Levi, an adopted puppy from the SPCA. Now, before bringing the dog home, the owner did ask the Strata Council Vice President for a written approval, and he got it, all in writing. Now, as the puppy grew, it exceeded the weight limit set out in the bylaws. And once that happened, it became clear that the owner was in violation. Now, neighbor made a complaint, and the Strata stepped in, and the owner was told the dog was no longer allowed to live there. The owner relied on the written approval, but you know what? It didn't hold up. The court ruled that one council member can't grant an exemption. So the Strata fined the owner $200 per week for 35 weeks, a total of $7,000. Then the court issued a permanent injunction. That dog was banned from the property. You know what? That easily could have been me. When I adopted Levi, I was told that he wouldn't go beyond 25 pounds. Okay, perfect size. I didn't think twice about it until he hit 25 and kept going. Now, I'm lucky right now I don't have restrictions where I currently live, but the moment I realized he was going to be bigger, I knew I was screwed if I ever wanted to move to a condo. And situations like this are exactly why so many dogs end up being surrendered. More than 12,400 animals have been surrendered since 2014, and the number one reason is housing. 25% of all surrenders every year are because people can't find pet-friendly homes. That's about 1,150 animals every single year. 27% of people in BC have struggled to find housing that allows pets. 18% settled for a neighborhood they didn't feel safe in just to keep their animals. Now, these are not irresponsible owners. They are people who love their pets, and they have very few options. Has anything been done about this in Canada? Well, yes, but not in the way you think. Ontario made a no pet clause in rental agreements void back in 2006. So renters can't legally be refused because of a pet. But landlords still have loopholes, allergies, noise complaints, and that protection stops completely at the rental level. If you own a strata unit, it definitely doesn't apply to you. Quebec went even further. In March 2026, a housing tribunal ruled that a no pet clause violates the Charter of Rights. That's a bigger shift, but it's only one ruling, and it's not a law. It can be appealed, and like Ontario, it only covers renters. Vancouver City recommended ending no pet clauses in rentals back in 2020. However, the province didn't act on it. Now, in March 2026, the BC SPCA formally recommended to the province that pet restrictions be banned in rental buildings with 5 or more units. They brought the data with them, and it shows that in over 80% of cases, pet damage costs less than the deposit the tenant already paid. So the argument for banning pets doesn't even hold up as far as damages are concerned. And none of it, not Ontario, not Quebec, touches strata ownership at all. And if you are buying a condo or a townhouse, you're still fully bound by that building's bylaws. There is nothing in BC law that's going to override them. And if any of that makes you angry, well, good, it should. The only real solution is change, and that starts with people speaking up. Share this video, contact your MLA, and if you found something that worked, put it in the comments, because someone watching this right now needs to hear it. Me and Levi are in this with you together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.